Welcome to my 7 Habits for Music Creators series. In this video, we will look at Habit 7, Sharpen the Saw, and explore why it is important to take care of yourself in 4 key areas, or you won't last long and your music career will burn out fast. Let's get it.
We create music.
I'm B Vaughn, and this is video number 9, our last video in our 7 Habits of Highly Effective Music Creators series. On this channel, we discuss relative music industry topics, provide practical information and resources, and share tools to help further your music career. If any of these areas interest you, take a moment to subscribe to our channel, hit the like button, and turn on notifications, as it helps us to rank higher and make this type of content more available to other music creators like you. Sharpen the saw means preserving and enhancing the greatest asset that you have, you. It means having a balanced program for self-renewal in the 4 key areas of your life: physical, social, emotional, mental, and spiritual. You have to understand that music is one part of your life. It is not your complete life. It is one part. You have to make sure that your whole life is taken care of. If you want to be the best, you have to sharpen the saw in all of these different areas. So here are some examples right off the bat of some activities that you can do in these 4 different areas. For the physical, things like beneficial eating, exercising, and resting. For the social, emotional, making meaningful connections with others online and also offline. For the mental, learning, reading, writing, and teaching. For the spiritual, spending time in nature, spiritual growth through meditation, music, art, prayer, or even service. All of these dimensions are interconnected, which means one area impacts the other. If you neglect one area, another area is going to be impacted. For example, if we feel good physically, we have mental clarity and better control of our emotions. If our social life is good, we'll have more energy and more motivation to take care of ourselves physically. If our spiritual life is out of whack, then that can lead to things like becoming insensitive and selfish. And because these 4 areas are working together, it allows you to really synergize them, which will enable you to do more in less time. Because you're practicing these things for self-renewal. As you renew yourself on a continual basis in each of these 4 different areas, you create growth and change in your life. Sharpen the saw is important. Sharpen the saw keeps you fresh so that you can continue practicing the other 6 habits. You increase your capacity to produce and handle the challenges and situations that are around you. This is the habit of self-renewal, and encompasses and supports all the other habits. Just as any tool requires regular maintenance in order to function at its peak, you, the saw, require regular renewal and sharpening to remain the best you can be, the most effective. So let's look at some ways you can personally sharpen you, the saw. You may want to take some notes, because I'm going to give you a whole bunch of stuff that you can do in each of these different 4 dimensions. So we're going to start off with the physical. Sharpening this area of your life ensures your body has the strength and energy it needs to take on life challenges and demands. If you're sick and tired all the time, you are not very productive. No matter how much energy or effort you pour into your music career, it's all going to be futile. You need ample rest to perform at your best. Taking care of your body is a major priority in life. It is super critical for you to do that. At a minimum, focus on the following: exercising. Find an exercise routine that works for you. If all you have is 30 minutes a day to work out, then do a 30-minute workout. Like right now, I am doing this insanity 30-minute thing, which is crazy, but it's 30 minutes. It works with my schedule, and it gives me that high intensity training that I want and I'm looking for my own body. Find what works right for you and then do that. Next is to make sure that you are eating right. Try to stay away from from them foods that are bad for you. Yep, I know we got our favorite studio foods, or when we are working in the studio late at night, fast food is the option, but you have to make sure that your body is performing at its highest peak. Continuously eating junk will eventually wear your body down, and so then you're not going to be able to perform at your highest capacity. Next is to make sure that you're getting enough sleep each night. So don't buy into the hype of what you hear other people in this music industry tell you about sleep, and how, I want to get 4 or 5 hours of sleep a night. Man, get out of here with all that. You need your rest. Trust me, you need your rest in order for your body to perform and function properly so that you can accomplish what you need with clarity. You have to make sure that you're on top of your game. And if you're not getting enough sleep, how can you expect to be, right? You can't perform with excellence if you're super tired all the time. These three things right here, these three things can go a long, long way in keeping you physically sharp. So begin there and then make them non-negotiables. Don't let anything interrupt those. Number 2, social emotional. So we're going to talk about the social emotional side. We are all social creatures, whether we like to admit it or not. Whether we like large crowds or small and intimate circles, we all gain something from having a social emotional connection with other people. Several studies have found socializing can help reduce stress and depressive feelings. Emotional balance is so important. It should be a distinct area of focus and awareness, for when your emotional life is in order, everything else in life is in order. If it's out of whack, then everything else is going to be out of whack, and you know the headaches that can bring forth when everything doesn't work the way that it should. So here are some ways that you can sharpen your social emotional saw. Number 1, make some friends, right? Go out, make some connections with other people. Go out to lunch with a friend. Stay away from negative energy, right? So toss that negative energy aside. Don't be around negative people all the time. You yourself don't be negative. Surround yourself with people with good energy. Dump toxic people from your life. Collaborate with fellow artists and musicians. Call a loved one. Eat dinner with your family. Take your husband or wife out on a date. Identify and practice ways of dealing with stress, depression, and anxiety. Have meaningful conversations with others. Your conversation should be able to stem past just music. Visit a therapist, get some help if you need to do that. Practice deep breathing or woosah, woosah. Learn to be resilient, the ability to withstand or recover quickly from difficult conditions. And last is to meditate. So before we proceed any further, take a moment to subscribe to our channel, hit the like button, turn on notifications as it helps us to rank higher and make this type of content more available to other music creators just like you. Third, mental. Now I've realized that for the majority of the people in today's world, we do things that constantly dull our mental capacity. I mean, the average attention span is only like 9 seconds. So, I mean, we get bored very quickly. We've gotten used to just turning off our minds and surfing the internet for long hours or watching YouTube for 1,000 years and just, mindless TV. I mean, we've developed habits to do that. Your mind is one of the best tools that you have that can help you achieve the career in this industry that you are seeking. The best way to rejuvenate your dulled down mind is not to turn it off, but to feed it with something productive, beneficial, and healthy. You may or may not remember the slogan for the United Negro College Fund.
A mind is a terrible thing to waste.
This is true in every essence. So why waste it on things that are not moving your career forward? I find that many people are just going through the motions with their music careers. They rarely conduct those meaningful activities to push ahead, and it's always bothered me that people will not allow themselves to use their brains in the most effective way. So below are a few suggestions on how you can fuel your brain's recovery and sharpen your own mental blade. Number 1, read books on the music industry and business. I got a million of them in my studio area. Stay sharpened in your mind by reading books on the music industry. It surprises me all the time that people always have questions about, oh, what's this, what's that in the music industry? And they're writing books. But I've heard if you want to hide knowledge from people, you put it in books, right? A lot of people don't go read books. Next is to watch online tutorials on YouTube. I know I just mentioned YouTube, but that means like watching just mindless videos on YouTube. If you're watching videos on YouTube's, right? If you're watching videos on YouTube that helps to push you forward, I'm all for that. But it's not just watching those videos. You have to put those things into practice as well. Next is to listen to a podcast that you like, one that's informative, one that's going to push you forward. Also, watch We Create Music TV for exciting content, and make sure to subscribe as well. Take an online course. There are plenty of free courses on Coursera or lynda.com. Learn more about the DAW that you're using. Attend a music event to learn more about the industry. Or you have the ability to join local groups that is focused on your interests or the career that you are in. Number 4, spiritual. The spiritual dimension generates your sense of purpose in life, your sense of being, your sense of belonging. It's the core of who you are and why you do what you do. Failure to sharpen this blade can leave you feeling cynical, burned out, and even depressed. It's easy to neglect our spiritual life. The concrete day-to-day things take up so much of our time and attention that the spirituality type of activities need to get pushed aside. Eventually, this neglect is going to catch up with you very fast, and you're going to notice it when it happens. It happens when you're lying in bed scrolling through Instagram wondering, why am I not at the level that I expect to be at? Or why hasn't my career taken off? Or why haven't I received my blue check verification on Instagram yet? These are the key moments when having a sense of purpose, a solid foundation of values comes in handy. Spirituality can ultimately be just as practical as any other area of your life. Keeping your spirit in shape is very much the same as keeping your physical body in shape. Just like you can't expect to jump into a marathon without any training, the same principle applies to your spiritual blade as well. You need to commit to sharpening it every single day. At a minimum, here's some things that you can do to focus on building your spiritual, or at least sharpening your spiritual blade. Study scripture or philosophy, whichever one floats your boat. I'm more of a scriptural type person, so I read the scriptures. Next is to practice self-examination and identify those areas of improvement. Man, that's what I love about human beings, is that we have self-awareness. We have the ability to stand apart and outside of ourselves to see, is my behavior right? Is it accurate? If it's not, I can change it. Animals don't have the ability to do that, but we humans can do that. Attend religious service, right? The next is spend time in silence, in solitude, praying, fasting from food, spending time in nature, working on your career strategy, which is super important. You should be doing that anyway. Journaling your thoughts, experiences, and insights. Reading enlightening books. Your music career is just one aspect of your life. I said it in the very beginning of this. It is one part of your life. If you want to have longevity in all areas of your life, then this is the one area that you cannot afford to neglect. Most people know what they need to do to take care of themselves. They just don't do it, right? We all know what we got to do to take care of ourselves. The trick is you got to do it. We usually decide to do it when it's too late. When your spouse files for divorce, when that doctor tells you that you have a certain disease and that you need to lose weight, when your loved one has passed away and we fail to make that meaningful connection with them, when we don't get the royalties or percentages that we think that we are entitled to, instead of spending time learning about the business side of music and what actual points and percentages you are supposed to get. Look, I can go on, but you get the point, right? You get the point. So here are some suggestions on how to sharpen your saw on a regular basis. Number 1, make sharpening the saw a big rock. I talked about big rocks in habit 3, put first things first. This is the one that you get to first before anything else, before those little pebbles, right? Go back and watch that video. Before those little pebbles take over. And then you just like, oh, I don't have time to do this because I got all these little things to do. Next is to block out time for your sharpening the saw activities. This applies to all of them: the physical, social, emotional, the mental, and the spiritual. If you use a calendar, make sure to place your big rocks on the calendar. Don't compromise on it, right? You cannot afford to compromise on it. If there is a conflicting activity that comes up during the week and it's not a life-threatening emergency, sometimes you just gotta say, you know what? Sorry, I already got plans for that. Can we do it some other time? Yeah, you have to protect your sharpening the saw time. And if you ever start to feel guilty or bad that you're saying no to people so that you can focus on you time, remind yourself that you time would allow you to be more effective in the things to which you've already said yes to. Next is don't give in to the pressures of others. In this music industry, people are going to try to pressure you into doing things that are not going to be beneficial for you. You have to guard your time, your energy, your space. Guard it. It's super critical for you to do that. Next is to get rid of things in your life that are time wasters. What can you stop doing that will free up much more time for yourself? Maybe you're wasting too much time on the internet or on your smartphone, or maybe you're just watching too much TV. Maybe you got some other obligations that aren't serving your goals. Find what those things are and eliminate them, or at least reduce the amount of time that you spend on them. Next is to start small, right? Don't try to jump right in with both feet into the pool. Don't do everything at once. You're gonna overwhelm yourself, and then you're gonna go, you know what, Bevon, this ain't working, man. You said that if I do these in these 4 areas, are gonna work. That's because you try to do them all at once. You can't do that. Start small. hey, you know what, today, I'm gonna focus on physical, right? That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna focus on the physical dimension, or I'm gonna focus on the mental, or maybe I'm gonna focus on the physical and the spiritual. But don't try to do all four at one time. You're gonna give up. Find ways to combine your sharpening the saw activities. For example, you can combine the renewing your mental and physical capacities by listening to a podcast while you are out there getting your run on. You can combine the mental and social emotional renewal activities by attending a music event with a friend, right? So you're going to a music conference, but you got your boys with you, right? So you're fulfilling those two areas. When it seems like you can't and life gets too hard, sharpen the saw. Sharpen yourself. Take the necessary time needed to rejuvenate yourself and to regain your energy, focus, and sharpness. Take some time to decompress so you can come back at it with renewed energy. You have to. I know so many people in this music industry that go, and then they burn out, and then they wonder why. Man, I can't make it today. Yeah, no, you can't make it today. Look, you burned yourself out. Of course not. You need to renew yourself. So as you continue to take this journey through the 7 habits, many of you have uncovered new ideas, new opportunities for old problems or challenges that you face. You may also have identified some new opportunities that you like to explore, or maybe you found some major keys to move your music career forward. Wherever you're starting, the promise is the same. As you consistently live the 7 habits, you are profoundly more effective in achieving the things that matter the most to you, whether it is in your music career or in your everyday life. Sharpening the saw makes everything worthwhile. It is what holds everything together. So you got to sharpen that. All right, I appreciate it, man. Thanks for tuning in to this series. This is an amazing series. Once again, I love teaching and talking about the 7 habits of highly effective people. And now we can talk about how it applies to you as music creators. So if you found this information valuable, make sure to subscribe to our channel, hit the like button, turn on the notifications. Once again, as it helps us to rank higher and make this type of content more available to other music creators just like you. And I will see you in another video, another series. Be on the lookout. Appreciate you being here. Peace.